यमुनातीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Madha Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome to our daily morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. So we are reading from first canto, chapter 7, the son of Drona punished. And within one or two shlokas we are about to find out why the son of Drona was punished. So yesterday we were discussing shloka 11, and we are yet to read the purport for the shloka. But before we start, I think we will recite the shloka 10 and 11 together because they are very important. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Sūta uvaca Atma Ramascha munayo Nirgrantha piurukrame Kurvanti hayatu kim bhaktim Itham bhuta guno harihi Harer gunakshiptamatir Bhagavan Badarayanihi Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha. So with any devotees like to recite these two shlokas, 10 and 11 together?
I'll try, Mataji.
Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Sūta uvaca Atma Ramascha munayo Nirgrantha api urukrame Kurvanti ahaytukim bhaktim Ittam bhuta guno harihi Harir gunakshiptamatir Bhagavan Badarayani Adhyagan Mahad Akhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else?
Sūta uvaca Atma Ramascha munayo Nirgrantha api urukrame Kurvanti ahaytukim bhaktim Ittam bhuta guno harihi Harer gunakshiptamatir Bhagavan Badarayani Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha.
translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, son of Śrīla Vyāsadeva, was not only transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of his great narration, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Can someone read the first 2 lines of the purport, please?
According to Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. Śrīla Vyāsadeva knew that the child after his birth wouldn't stay at home. Therefore, he, Vyāsadeva, impressed upon him the synopsis of the Bhāgavatam so that the child could be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. After his birth, the child was still more educated in the subject of the Bhāgavatam by recitation of the actual poems.
Thank you, Mataji. So yesterday and in last few classes we saw how Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a liberated soul even in the womb of his mother, and he didn't want to come out, and Vyasadeva went to personally see Lord Krishna in Dwarka, requested Krishna to come and rescue this soul, and so Krishna gave darshan to Śukadeva Gosvāmī in the womb of his mother and assured him that he won't be affected by Maya. So that's when Śukadeva Gosvāmī came out of the womb of his mother, and as soon as he came out of the womb, he started running to the forest. So, and then we saw how expertly Vyasadeva arranged for Śukadeva Gosvāmī to hear some selected verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and how he arranged for him to come back home and study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in detail. So one may have a question, why Vyasadeva was so keen that his son hears Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? He was already a liberated soul. So any thoughts? Why was Vyasadeva so keen? Because he was, Śukadeva Gosvāmī was already a liberated soul, so why he insisted that he hears Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam?
Because Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives the highest realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth, whereas the Brahman realization, in which Śukadeva Gosvāmī was prepared, is only partial realization of Absolute Truth.
Yes, yes, that's very correct. And also, out of his duty as a father, there is a verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It says, Gurur na syat, svajano na syat, pita na syat, mata na janani na syat, daivam na syat, na pati cha syat, namo chayedya samupetya utyam, samupeta mrutyum. So one should not become a father, a mother, a guru, a worshipable demigod or Janani, if one cannot deliver the dependents from the cycle of birth and death. So even though Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a liberated soul, his father wanted him to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, so he realizes that the absolute truth is a person, and then he can make a relationship with that person. So that out of duty as a father, Vyasadeva wanted, he was so keen to for Śukadeva Gosvāmī to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So most of us are grihasthas here. We are most of us are parents, and we also have children, and we all came in contact with Krishna consciousness at different phases in our life. So maybe for some of us, our children were quite grown up when we came in touch with Krishna consciousness, and we ourselves got attracted to Krishna. But it is our duty as a father, as a mother, as a husband, as a wife, that our family members also, they also make a relationship with Krishna, and they also progress in Krishna consciousness. So that is the takeaway point, take home point from this Vyasadeva's keenness. Further, Prabhupada says in purport that the idea is that generally the liberated souls are attached to the feature of impersonal Brahman with a monistic view of becoming one with the Supreme Whole. So the goal of an impersonalist is to merge into the Brahman, which is called Sayujya Mukti. But when an impersonalist hears Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, they realize that the Brahma Jyoti they want to merge into, it comes from the Para-Brahma, which the Brahma Jyoti is just the light that emanates from the the nail of the toe of this Para-Brahma. So Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.12, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. So Arjuna says that I know you are the Parabrahma. And not only I am saying this, all the exalted sages, they are also saying this. So I know you are the Parabrahma. So Krishna just smiles. Arjuna says in the next verse, 10.13 in Bhagavad Gita, Ahut swam rishayo sarve devarshi naradas Asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva bravishime. So Krishna doesn't react, he just smiles, because there is a certain intelligence that is needed to realize that this Parabrahma is the absolute truth, is actually a person. And this intelligence, Krishna says in 10.10, that this intelligence he has kept reserved for certain people. So who are these people? Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So Krishna says that intelligence that is needed to come to me, yena mam upayanti te, dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give that intelligence to whom? Tesham satata yuktanam, those who are constantly engaged in me, and bhajatam priti purvakam, those who worship me with love and devotion. For those I have reserved this intelligence. Otherwise, they cannot. In another shloka in Bhagavad Gita 7.25, Krishna says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavritaha Mūఢoyam na vijanati loko mamajam avyayam. So Krishna says, Naham prakasha sarvasya. सब लोगों के सामने तो मैं अपने आप को प्रकाश में ही नहीं लाता हूँ. I do not manifest myself to the moodas, to the unintelligent, to the fools. And so they do not know that I am the Ajam, I am the Avyayam, I am the Parabrahma. So Krishna keeps himself covered. Yoga Maya Samavritaha. So Yoga Maya is Krishna's energy. So she complies with Krishna's desire to keep him covered. This is nicely said in Brahma Samhita. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharati Durga Ichhanurupamapi Yasya Cha Cheshtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Yoga Maya acts according to the desire of Krishna. Ichhanurupam apiyasya cha cheshtate sa. So according to the desire of Krishna that he wants to keep himself covered to the moodas, to the impersonalist, Yoga Maya keeps Krishna covered. So now someone may say, then why is Krishna partial? Why is he keeping this buddhi, this intelligence, why is he keeping it to certain people only? So, because Krishna reciprocates to a jiva according to the desire of jiva. So, Brahmavadis, impersonalists, they want to merge into the Brahma Jyoti because of a selfish desire, that they want liberation. So, they have a selfish motive. So that's why Krishna also reciprocates in the same way. But a bhakta, devotee, he doesn't have any other desire than to serve Krishna. Out of the love for Krishna, he just wants to serve Krishna. So his bhakti is ahaytukim, unmotivated. He doesn't have any selfish desire like an impersonalist. So that's why to a bhakta, Krishna reciprocates differently and he gives him the intelligence. So we can see an example. For example, you live in Ahmedabad and you have a friend in Mumbai and you are staying in your friend's place for a few days and your friend is invited to a wedding party. So your friend says, you also come with me. You go to that wedding dinner and but in that dinner you eat but you feel very uncomfortable. You don't feel complete. You feel shy to even eat there. But in the contrary, if you are in your own city, Ahmedabad, you have a wedding in your friend's place and you are invited there, so you feel at home, you are so comfortable. So, and you even start serving the other people. So, like that, you feel complete when you know the person. When you know the host, you feel comfortable in the party. So, when you know that the Supreme Person, Absolute Truth, is a person and you have a relationship with him, you feel complete. So you see, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, as soon as he came out of the womb of his mother, he started running. So why was he running? What was he running towards? Usually we run towards something we want. Monday to Friday we all go to work because we need money, and children go to school because they need education. So what was it that Śukadeva Gosvāmī was lacking? What was it that he was running towards? So, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jivera Swarup hoy Krishnera Nityadas. So whether he realized it or not, some of us do realize that we are servants of Krishna. Some of us don't realize it. Some of us are ready to accept it. Some of us are not ready to accept it yet. But we are all servants of Krishna. So, when Śukadeva Gosvāmī heard the glories of his master, Krishna, even though he didn't realize at that stage that Supreme Person, the Absolute Truth is a person, he is my master, but when he heard the glories of his master, like iron gets attracted to the magnet, he immediately got attracted and he happily and enthusiastically went back home and studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and later he went out and he preached Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the assembly to Parīkṣit Maharaj and all the other sages. So now if you see, after Śukadeva Gosvāmī has studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, now Vyasadeva doesn't insist that he stays home. So now that his motive is achieved, that as a father, I want him to have a relationship with Krishna. Now the motive is achieved, so now Vyasadeva lets him go. Further, Prabhupada says in the purport, but by the association of pure devotees like Vyasadeva, even the liberated soul becomes attracted to the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So in all other paths, you are alone. You do your austerities alone, you do your meditation alone, you merge into the Brahman alone. But in Bhakti, there is association of devotees. As you have Kirtan, you have feast, you dance in the Kirtan. So everyone, you get an association on the path of Bhakti. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, he started doing Kirtan in the Tompkins Square Park. So he had his eyes closed, and when he opened his eyes, he saw that a lot of people were dancing. So how come they were dancing? Srila Prabhupada never told them that you should dance in the Kirtan. So that attraction to Krishna, it is natural. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was passing through the Jharikhanda forest in India, so when he was doing his Kirtan in ecstasy, all the animals, the tigers and the elephants and the snakes, they were also dancing. So you might have seen a photo, a picture like that. So that Jharikhanda forest is now called Jharkhand state in India. And it is said that this place is still there, and there are footprints of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and these animals on the stone. So even stone get melted in the ecstasy, in the love for Krishna. So like patthar bhi pighal gaya. So, and I recently watched a video when some devotees were doing kirtan on the street, and a dog was circling and it was dancing. So every now and then we see things like that, that every jiva, not just humans, they have this attraction for Krishna. Further, Prabhupada says, by the mercy of Sri Narada, Śrīla Vyāsadeva was able to narrate the great epic of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And by the mercy of Vyasadeva, Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī was able to grasp the import. So, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it comes, Brahmand Brahmite hoy, kon bhagyavan jeev, Guru Krishna prasad paye, bhakti lata beej. So, we see in this line, Srila Prabhupada has said, we see the role of mercy in this disciplic succession. First of all, we saw in the previous chapters that Narad Muni, out of the mercy of the Bhaktivedantists, he had the remnants of the food the Bhaktivedantists had. So from the mercy of his Guru, he had the vision of the Lord. And then Narad Muni's mercy, his disciple Vyasadeva, he could compile Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And then his disciple Śukadeva Gosvāmī, out of the mercy of Vyasadeva, he could preach Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He could nicely recite Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to Parīkṣit Maharaj, and that's what we have, and we are all relishing with Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the role of mercy in bhakti is very important. Our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Kadamkanand Swami Maharaj, once he was asked a question at the end of a lecture, that whose mercy is more important, Guru's mercy or Krishna's mercy? So Guru Maharaj gave a really nice answer. He said, Guru's mercy and Krishna's mercy is non-different. It is the same mercy. But initially, in the beginning of stages of our bhakti, we find that Guru is more accessible, because Guru is there on this planet to instruct us, to guide us, to chastise us, and to correct us, like Vyasadeva wanted to correct the impersonal understanding of Śukadeva Gosvāmī. So in the beginning, we find that Guru's mercy is very potent. And in the beginning, Krishna is silent. And maybe he is not silent, but he is speaking to us, but we are not able to hear what he is saying. So that's why we feel that is the role of the Guru, that he holds your hand and he takes you to the lotus feet of Krishna, and then he leaves you there to eternally serve Krishna. So Guru's mercy and Krishna's mercy is the same. Where is Guru getting mercy from? Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6.3.19 says that origin of all religious principles is Krishna. So mercy is also mercy that the Guru is giving to us. He is getting that mercy from Krishna. Does anyone want to read the purport in the further? The line from the transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive. Right up to the end, please.
The transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive that Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī became detached from being completely absorbed in impersonal Brahman and positively took up the personal activity of the Lord. Practically, he was thrown from the impersonal conception of the Absolute, thinking within himself that he had simply wasted so much time in devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme, or in other words, he realized more transcendental bliss with the personal feature than the impersonal. And from that time, not only did he himself become very dear to the Vishnu Janas, or the devotees of the Lord, but also the Vishnu Janas became very dear to him. The devotees of the Lord who do not wish to kill the individuality of the living entities and who desire to become personal servitors of the Lord do not very much like the impersonalist, and similarly, the impersonalist who desire to become one with the Supreme are unable to evaluate the devotees of the Lord. Thus, from time immemorial, these two transcendental pilgrims have sometimes been competitors. In other words, each of them likes to keep separate from the other because of the ultimate personal and impersonal realizations. Therefore, it appears that Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī also had no liking for the devotees. But since he himself became a saturated devotee, he desired always the transcendental association of the Vishnu Janas, and the Vishnu Janas also liked his association, since he became a personal Bhagavata. Thus, both the son and the father were completely cognizant of transcendental knowledge in Brahman, and afterwards both of them become absorbed in the personal features of the Supreme Lord. The question as to how Śukadeva Gosvāmī was attracted by the narration of the Bhagavatam is thus completely answered by this shloka.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, if you see, Srila Prabhupada says that each of them, the impersonalist and the bhakta, each of them like to keep separate from each other. So, it is pointless to debate with impersonalist. It is better you just give them a taste of Harikatha and then let the Harikatha do its magic. Then it automatically they will be drawn to Krishna, like an iron gets attracted to Krishna, because whether they realize it or not, they are also a part and parcel of Krishna. So it is natural that they will be attracted to Krishna. It's just a matter of hearing about Krishna. You see, yesterday also we shared this example in Varanasi, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, Mayavadi scholar Prakashananda Saraswati, so he was very prominent, and when he saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is spreading the Sankirtan movement and everyone is getting attracted to him, so he met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said, you are a scholar of Sanskrit, you are so good at Sanskrit grammar, so why are you wasting your time dancing on the street singing? You should study Vedanta Sutras. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't try to argue with him or have a debate with him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, humbly says, you see, well, my guru thought that I am very fool, so he just gave me this one mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so I'm just singing that. So like that, even in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada also instructed us to distribute the books. So we just distribute the books and then the books do the magic. So somehow or other we want to connect people with Krishna and then our job is done. So like, just like we said before, after Śukadeva Gosvāmī heard Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Śrīla Vyāsadeva, then Śrīla Vyāsadeva even once, in the beginning, Śrīla Vyāsadeva didn't even once try to refute the understanding of his son, Śukadeva Gosvāmī. All he did was expertly choose two verses from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and so he convinced him in being a bhakta like that. So just by hearing the Shravanam, like Prahlad Maharaj says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Sakhyam Dasyam Atma Nivedanam. So Shravanam is the first step in bhakti. Let's go to the next verse, 1:7-12. Parīkṣitoth Rājarṣai Janma Karma Vilapanam Samstham Cha Pāṇḍuputranam Vakshye Kṛṣṇa Kathodayam. Anyone would like to recite?
Parīkṣitoth Rājarṣai Janma Karma Vilapanam Samstham Cha Pāṇḍuputranam Vakshye Kṛṣṇa Kathodayam. Any Matajis?
Parīkṣitoth Rājarṣe
Janma karma vilapanam
Janma karma vilapanam
Samstham cha Pāṇḍuputranam
Samstam cha Pāṇḍuputranam
Vakshye Krishna kathodayam
Vakshye Krishnam kathodayam. What word? Parīkṣitah. O King Parīkṣit.
O King Parīkṣit,
Atha. Thus. Rajarṣe. Of the king who was the rishi among the kings.
of the king who was a rishi among the kings.
Janma.
Janma,
Birth.
birth.
Karma.
Karma,
Activities.
activities.
Vilapanam.
Vilapanam,
Deliverance.
deliverance.
Samstham.
Samstam,
Renunciation of the world.
renunciation of the world.
Cha.
Cha,
End.
and
Pāṇḍuputranam.
Pāṇḍuputranam,
Of the sons of Pāṇḍu.
of the sons of Pāṇḍu.
Vakshye.
Vakshye,
I shall speak.
I shall speak.
Krishna Katha Udayam.
Krishna Katha Udayam,
That which gives rise to the transcendental narration of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
that which gives rise to the transcendental narration of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sūta Gosvāmī thus addressed the ṛṣis headed by Śaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa and topics of the birth, activities and deliverance of King Parīkṣit, the sage among the kings, as well as topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pāṇḍu. Would anyone like to start reading the purport, please? Yes, Mataji. Prabhu reads most of the days in the class. Yes.
Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen souls that he personally incarnates himself amongst the different kinds of living entities and takes part with them in daily activities. Any historical fact, old or new, which has a connection with the activities of the Lord is to be understood as a transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the supplementary literatures like the Puranas and Mahabharata are simply stories or historical facts. But with
Thank you, Mataji. So, if anyone noticed, this is the first time in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam the word Krishna has come. Yeah, so, earlier in Narad Muni's past time, we did see that he had a darshan of the Lord, but the word Krishna didn't come. So, this is the first time the word Krishna is coming, and Śrīla Prabhupada is making a nice point that without Krishna, all the scriptures like Puranas and Mahabharata, they are just historical narrations. If Krishna is not there, it is just history. It is just a story of kings and kingdoms and battles. But when Krishna is there, these stories become transcendental. Otherwise, history, I studied a lot of history. I studied the history of India, all the kingdoms, all the dynasties of India, Roman dynasty and British history, everything. But you see, no one discusses history like that until you have taken as a subject and you have to give an exam. Nobody discusses on Sunday morning, get together and discusses history of some dynasty. So we are discussing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We are discussing the history of this Kuru dynasty here. We are just about to see why the son of Drona was punished, because we are seeing everything. We are discussing all this because Krishna is involved. So, I don't even know maybe 5% of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, but I get so much bliss from Bhāgavatam. My cup is so little and Bhāgavatam is just pouring, so my cup gets, it's overflowing. So I have to give a class and share the bliss with everyone. Further, Prabhupada says, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is thus recommended by Lord Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purana. So, we have all heard again and again that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is Amala Purana. So, Amala means the dirtiness. So, Amala means the one that is not dirty. The scripture without any material contamination is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Bhakti Jaru Maharaj was once asked a question that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam describes the transcendental qualities and the pastimes of Krishna. So, is there a need of any other scriptures? So, Bhakti Jaru Maharaj gave a really nice answer that for devotees, Bhagavatam is everything, but we need Bhagavad Gita. Why? To come to the level of Bhagavatam, we need Bhagavad Gita. To study Bhagavatam, to make most sense of the concepts discussed in Bhagavatam, it is recommended that first we undergo the study of Bhagavad Gita. And then Maharaj said that we also need Chaitanya Charitamrita. To go beyond Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we need Chaitanya Charitamrita. For the practical application of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we need Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we need nectar of devotion. We need nectar of devotion to better understand the concepts described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So for Vaishnavas, Bhagavatam is the center and all other scriptures are supporting scriptures. Would anyone like to read from There is a Class of Less Intelligent Devotees? Right up at the end. There is a
class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Purana who desire to relish at once the activities of the Lord narrated in the 10th canto without first understanding the primary cantos. They are under the false impression that the other cantos are not concerned with Krishna, and thus more foolishly than intelligently they take to the reading of the 10th canto. These readers are specifically told herein that the other cantos of the Bhagavatam are as important as the 10th canto. No one should try to go into the matters of the 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purport of the other 9 cantos. Krishna and his pure devotees, like the Pāṇḍavas, are on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees of all the rasas, and the pure devotees, like the Pāṇḍavas, are not without Krishna. The devotees and the Lord are interlinked, and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha or topics of the Lord.
Thank you, Mataji. So, there is a class of devotees, they are known as Sahajiyas. So, they think that the beginning cantos of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, for example, this first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, why are we wasting time in reading about the history of Kuru dynasty? Why are we studying how Aśvatthāmā tried to kill the Parīkṣit Maharaj in the womb of his mother, and why Krishna tried to save? This battle between Kauravas and Pāṇḍavas, their personal issues, their political issues, why are we discussing all that? They think that the real nectar is straight away in the 10th canto, and they only focus on that part of Krishna Lila when Krishna is doing Lila with gopis. So, but that understanding is not correct, because everything that is associated with Krishna, it is transcendental. So, even when prasad, when food, when Krishna enters the food, it becomes prasad. So, everything that Vyāsadeva has narrated right from the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, everything is transcendental, and we need to undergo the study of these initial cantos of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as well. Otherwise, why Shukadeva Gosvāmī is a liberated soul? Why is he narrating about the Uttara's pregnancy, and why Aśvatthāmā throws Brahmastra? That is what the chapter we are learning, the son of Drona punished. So, why liberated souls like Vyāsadeva and Shukadeva Gosvāmī, why are they indulging in these topics? So for us, for devotees, every affair is when there is Krishna's hand, even if it is about battlefield or about because this is all dealings of Krishna with his devotees. This is showing us that that how Krishna, for his devotee, is taking the role of a chariot driver. So this is not just a story about a battle. We see the dealings of Krishna with Kunti Maharani. We see the dealings of Krishna with Parīkṣit Maharaj. So this is also transcendental. We see dealings of Krishna with Draupadi. So in between all these political the matters that seem political, there is still Krishna's hand, and it is our job to see Krishna's hand in all these cantos as well. The next two shlokas are combined shlokas, so let's recite them together. Yada mruthe kauravasrujayanam Vireshvatho viragatim gadeshu Vrukodara viddhagadabhimarsha Bhagnorudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra putre Bhartu priyam Droniriti samapashyan Bhartu priyam Droniriti smapashyan Krishna sutanam swapatam shiramsi Upaharadvi priyameva tasya Jugupsitam karma vigarhayanti Would anyone like to repeat? Yada mride kauravasrinjayanam
Vireshvatho viragatim gateshu Vrikodara
vidhakadavimarsha Bhagnorudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra putre Bhartu priyam Droniriti smapashyan Krishna sutanam swapatam shiramshi Upaharadvi priyameva tasya Jugupsitam karma vigarhayanti. Very nice, Mataji. I always get impressed when someone's first language is not Hindi or Sanskrit or this, and they so nicely recite and they perfectly pronounce each syllable. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. Word to word. Yada, when. Mride, in the battlefield. Kaurava, the party of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. Shrunjayanam, of the party of the Pāṇḍavas. Vireshu, of the warriors. Atho, thus. Viragatim, the destination deserved by the warriors. Gateshu, being obtained. Vrikodara, Bhīm, the second Pāṇḍava. Aviddha,
Avidya,
beaten,
beaten,
gada,
gada,
by the club,
by the club,
abhimrasha, lamenting,
lamenting,
bhagna,
bhagna,
broken,
broken,
urudande,
urudande,
spinal cord,
spinal cord,
Dhṛtarāṣṭra putre,
Dhṛtarāṣṭra putre,
of son of King Dhṛtarāṣṭra,
the
son
son
of King Dhṛtarāṣṭra,
Bhartu,
Bhartu,
of the master,
of the master,
Priyam,
Priyam,
pleasing,
pleasing,
Draunihi,
Droṇācārya,
the son of Droṇācārya,
the son of Droṇācārya,
iti,
iti,
thus,
thus,
sma,
sma,
shall be,
shall be,
Pashyan,
Pashyan,
seeing,
seeing,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Draupadi. So this is not Kṛṣṇa, this is Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa is Draupadi. Sūtānām,
Sūta
of the sons,
of the sons,
Swapatam,
Swapatam,
while sleeping,
while sleeping,
Shiramsi,
Shiramsi,
heads,
heads,
Upaharat,
Upaharat,
delivered as a prize,
delivered as a prize,
Vipriyam,
Vipriyam,
unpleasing,
unpleasing,
Eva,
eva,
like,
like,
Dasya,
Dasya,
his,
his,
Jugupsitam,
Jugupsitam,
most heinous,
most heinous,
Karma,
karma,
act,
act,
Vigarahayanti,
Vigarahayanti,
disapproving.
disapproving.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki
Jai.
When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pāṇḍavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations, and when the son of Dhṛtarāṣṭra fell down lamenting, his spine broke, being beaten by the club of Bhīmasena, the son of Droṇācārya Aśvatthāmā beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadī and delivered the heads as a prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhana, however, disapproved of the heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Transcendental topics of the activities of the Lord Krishna in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam begin from the end of the battle at Kurukṣetra, where the Lord Himself spoke about Himself in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, both the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are transcendental topics of Lord Krishna. The Gita is Krishna Katha or topics of Krishna because it is spoken by the Lord. And the Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha because it is spoken about the Lord. Lord Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be informed of both Krishna Kathas by his order. Lord Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself in the garb of a devotee of Krishna, and therefore the versions of both Lord Krishna and Śrī Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical. Lord Chaitanya desired that all who are born in India seriously understand such Krishna Kathas and then after full realization preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. That will bring about the desired peace and prosperity of the stricken world. So in these words, the second line, there is a word Veergatim. Does anyone know what that means? Veergati?
The soldiers, when they die in the battlefield, they achieve the Veergati.
Yes, yes, perfect manager. Yes. So, Droṇācārya's son, Aśvatthāmā, we see the degradation of him in this verse. So, he is born as a Brahmana. He is son of a Brahmana, Droṇācārya. So, we see that in the battle of Kurukṣetra, he decides to support Duryodhana, and he decides, he knew the art of warfare because he was taught by his guru, his father. So he decides that he will fight in the war of Kurukṣetra from the Duryodhana's party. So this is a degradation of a Brahmana. When Brahmana takes the role of a Kshatriya, it is a degradation of him. So this degradation took him so low that he beheaded the heads of 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi. Otherwise, for Kshatriyas, Kshatriyas have, according to their prescribed duties, they have the rules of the war. So Kshatriyas never attacked 3 kind of people. One who is nishastra, they never attack. Women, they never attack. And children, they never attack. And then Aśvatthāmā, even though he is a Brahmana, he has degraded so much that he not only killed these children, but he killed them in the dark when they are sleeping. So there is such cowardness. And so this is not what Kshatriyas do. Kshatriyas, what they do is they challenge in the war. And if the opposite party is nishastra, if they do not have any weapons, Kshatriyas provide them weapons and then they honestly have a fight. And whoever wins, until one party dies, the war doesn't finish. So then whoever dies in the war, that is, they get Veer Gati. We say in Hindi, Shahid ho gaye. So that's why Kshatriyas are so glorious. So this Brahmana who is degraded as a Kshatriya, he has gone so low that he has killed these children in their sleep. Then we have this word Vireshvatho Veer Gatim Gateshu. So if a Kshatriya dies in the war, he gets promoted as Veer Gati. So he goes to heavenly planets. When in Bhagavad Gita we see when Arjuna was, he was doubting whether he should fight or not. One of the arguments Krishna gave why he should fight was that, if you should fight this war. So if you die in the battlefield, then you will attain Veer Gati. And if you don't die, if you die, you will get Veer Gati and then you will enjoy the heavenly planets. And if you don't die, then you will enjoy your kingdom. So Veer Gati, that word Krishna also uses in Bhagavad Gita. Then we have this word Vrukodara Vidha Gada Bhimarsha Bhagnor Urudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra Putre. Does anyone know who Vrukodara is? Perfect. So Vruka means wolf and Udara means the belly. So Bhim had an appetite like a wolf. So that's why he is called Vrukodara. So he was famous for gorging himself on the feast, and that's why this weakness of him Duryodhana tried to use by poisoning the laddus he was supposed to eat, and he tried to drown him in the Ganga. So Vrukodara is Bhim. Then Bhagnor Urudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra Putre. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra has 100 sons. So which Dhṛtarāṣṭra Putra we are talking about here? Yes. Yes. And then Bhagnor Urudande. Urudande is the spinal cord. So Bhagnor. So it is saying there Duryodhana's spinal cord broke. So it is an interesting story how Duryodhana's spinal cord broke. So at the end, when most of the soldiers were died in the Mahabharata, the Kurukṣetra war, there was a fight between Bhīma and Duryodhana. So Bhīma and Duryodhana both were expert in the Gada, the club, and Bhīma was trained by Droṇācārya, and Duryodhana was trained by Lord Balram, who is Krishna himself. So when Krishna decided that he will not fight in the war and he will just support Pāṇḍavas as a chariot driver, then Lord Balram also thought that he should also not remain in the warfield, and then he decided to go on holy places, on yatra. So when this fight between Duryodhana and Bhīma happened, Balram was not there. So Krishna he gives a hint to Bhīma where he should hit Duryodhana, because Duryodhana he had a blessing from his mother that his body was like iron, because his mother Gandhari, because she was a chaste lady, because her husband was a blind man, so she had tied her eyes with a piece of cloth for her entire life, and she was chaste to her husband. So she was fulfilling the prescribed duty of a wife very nicely. So whenever one performs their prescribed duty nicely, when that's all they do, they perform their prescribed duty nicely. So for a wife, if she just serves her husband nicely, that is the perfection of her life. So that's why, due to her chastity, Gandhari had this power that whatever she sees without any clothes, that will turn like vajra, like iron. So one day Gandhari asked Duryodhana that tomorrow morning when you come to offer pranams to me, you should come naked. So Duryodhana initially he hesitated, but when he understood the importance, how it is going to help him, the next morning he was going without any clothes towards her mother's room, and then Krishna comes. So Krishna, he says, "Oh, what are you doing? You're such a grown-up man and you're going like this naked in front of your mother, lady. What happened to your senses? So at least you should wear a langot." So then he says, yes, you are right, I was thinking the same. So he wears the langot and he goes in front of a mother, and mother opens the cloth, and as soon as she sees that he has covered some part of his body, she asks, "Did Krishna meet you?" So he said yes. So then she said, "Then my plan is ruined." So that Krishna knew this, and he used these in the battle of Kurukṣetra, between the fight between Bhīma and Duryodhana. So Krishna hinted to him that you should hit him below his waist. Otherwise, ideally, Kshatriyas, they don't hit anyone below the waist. So, our Chiki Krishna, he did this. So that's how, because he was hit below his waist, that's why his urukrame, his urudanda, his spinal cord, that's why it was broken. So that's what this word refers to. Then we have this Bhartuh Priyam Draunir Itisma Pashyan Krishna Sutanam Swapatam Shiramsi Upaharad. So this Brahmana, Aśvatthāmā, Drauni is referring to Aśvatthāmā, Drona's son, Drauni, Aśvatthāmā. So in this world, he has become a servant of a Kshatriya. Ideally, a Kshatriya, Brahmana should never be a servant. No other classes except for Shudras, they should become a servant. So when a Brahmana becomes a servant, that is his degradation. In Bhagavad Gita 18:42, Krishna says, "Shamo damastapaha shaucham shantir arjameva gnana vijnana mastikyam brahma karma svabhavajam." So a Brahmana's nature is peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, cleanliness, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. So when Brahmana falls down from his nature, this is what happens. So as we just said, he did jugupsitam karma, jugupsa. So jugupsa means like heinous act. You get disgusted. So Duryodhana, who is himself, he has himself done so many heinous acts. He has disrobed Draupadī, he has tried to kill Pāṇḍavas, his own cousins, he has tried to kill them so many times. He himself has done so many heinous acts. When he saw that Aśvatthāmā has brought this, Aśvatthāmā brought heads of 5 sons of Kṛṣṇa, Draupadī, on plates, and he presented them in front of Duryodhana. And as soon as because Duryodhana's spine is broken, he is lying down, so he wasn't able to see, but he just touches the second head. He said, "This cannot be Bhīma." So then he says, you should check whose heads they are, and then they find out that these are the 5 little children of Pāṇḍavas. So Aśvatthāmā falls down so much that he does this jugupsita karma that even Duryodhana gets disgusted, and Duryodhana disapproves of this act. So that is what the last line of our shloka is. Jugupsitam karma vigarhayanti. So even Duryodhana chastises Aśvatthāmā for this act. So this storyline that we discussed, this is leading us to the title of our chapter. What is the title?
Son of Drona.
Yes, so this is leading us to that title, why the son of Drona was punished. So we still have few more minutes. Let's recite these 2 beautiful shlokas together. And after that, if anyone has any questions, we can take. Does anyone want to lead? 13 and 14.
Yada mridhe kauravasrinjayanam vireshvatho viragatim gateshu Vrukodara vibragada vimarsha Bhagno rudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra putre Bhartu priyam drauniritisma pashyam
Bhartu priyam niritim smavashyan Krishna sutanam svapatam shriramsi Upaharadvi priyameva tasya Jugupsitam karma vigarhayanti. So these words, Upaharadvi priyameva tasya. So Aśvatthāmā, why does he take the heads of these 5 Panduputras? He thinks that I will take this as a upahar, as a gift, so that priyameva tasya, I will become dear to my master, Duryodhana. So that's why he takes these heads of these children as a upahar.
But Aśvatthāmā will not be knowing that they are children, or by purposefully he does that. He wanted to kill Pāṇḍavas.
Yes,
right?
yes, you're right. Yes. But still, Mataji, he did.
He knew that?
No, he didn't know that. But still, he did this heinous act in his greed that he wanted. But he still did wrong by attacking someone in the dark at night when they were nishastra.
But
So
he was
he-
not knowing that they are children.
Yes, Mataji, he did. Is that right, Ramji?
Yes. He did not. He wanted to kill the Pāṇḍavas.
Yes.
But by Krishna's arrangement, Mahabharata says that Krishna made Pāṇḍavas sleep somewhere else that night, and the Pāṇḍavas' sons were sleeping there. And Aśvatthāmā was so furious because his father was killed, and he wanted to avenge the death of his father. So he really wanted to kill the Pāṇḍavas, and he did not even see those faces. And actually, Mahabharata says Duryodhana fell the heads, and then he could tell that these are not Pāṇḍavas. And it goes to the extent that the second hand he crushed, and he was able to crush it very easily. And he said, "This cannot be Bhīma at all." And then they actually, when they removed the covering, and then they realized that these are sons of Pāṇḍavas. But nonetheless, heinous act that to kill someone while they are sleeping. What kind of Kshatriya that would do that?
Would any Matajis like to recite these two shlokas? Yada mrute kauravasrunjayanam Vireshvatho viragatim gateshu Vrukodarabhitagadavimarsha Bhagnorudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra Bhartu priyam Droṇiriti smapashyam Krishna Sutanam Swapatam Shriramsi Upaharadvi priyameva tasya Jugupsitam karma vikarmayanti. Thank you so much, Mataji. So before we end today's session, did anyone have any questions?
Just one comment. Here it says Upaharad Vipriyameva Tasya, that actually Aśvatthāmā thought that he will please Duryodhana, Priyam, but the result was Vipriyam. Duryodhana wasn't pleased.
Yes.
I was hearing a class by Radha Govind Maharaj, and he was saying that actually Duryodhana himself has done so many heinous acts. So why does this act actually disgust him? So he commented that because Aśvatthāmā was under Duryodhana, he was fighting for Duryodhana, that people in general would think, oh, perhaps Duryodhana's order was that kill the sleeping Pāṇḍavas or the sons of Pāṇḍavas. So he was more concerned that, oh, now I will be accused of being party to this heinous act, and my name will be further spoiled. So he said that's why he was actually very disgusted with this act. Because Duryodhana is Duryodhana at the end of the day. He is not thinking ever straight, even on the deathbed.
Yes, thank you, Bhavani. Thank you for sharing this point. Yes, Mataji.
There is, so this is the sentence that Lord Śrī desired that all who are born in India seriously understand such Krishna Kathas, so seriously understand such Krishna Kathas, and then after full realization preach the transcendental message. I was just wondering, how do you know if you're fully realized, to start preaching? How does it work?
Mataji, yes, I can speak for myself. I'm definitely not fully realized, but devotees do preaching as a service to their Guru, as a service to their service to Krishna, and I think in the process we get purified. So that's my understanding, Mataji. Unless someone else, some senior devotee wants to share some more thoughts on this.
Srila Prabhupada mentions many times, if we just repeat the message, then that message will have an impact. So there was one actual incident. One person was trying to follow Krishna consciousness, but he could not give up drinking of alcohol. And he went to the pub, and in the pub, he was drinking alcohol, and the person next to him, he started preaching to him. And that person who was preaching to, he became a devotee. So the important thing is that somehow or the other we just hear and repeat the message. Yesterday, I don't want to embarrass anyone, but one Mataji was saying, tell my Prabhu to come to class as well. But the Prabhu said, whatever she hears, but she tells me in the evening, so I hear everything. So this process of Shravanam and Kirtanam actually will work wonders. We don't know how it works. However, here Srila Prabhupada is quoting a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita that Bharata Bhumita Manusya Janma Hoyana Janma Sartha Kari Karo Paropkara, that our ultimate aim should be that we become perfect devotees of Krishna, and actually then when we speak, then it will be more potent. I think that's the message. But until that happens, at the sadhak stage also, we can repeat what we are hearing, and that also, because it's related to Krishna, Krishna works in wonderful ways. It will have the impact.
Chaitanya, this reminds me what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yare dekha tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. Alright, so
Prabhu, so you mean that even if you're not fully realized, you should still preach? That's what it means? That even...
Preaching is very, as a white term.
Mm-hmm.
Like once Bhakti Swami Maharaj said that one should always preach and speak only when necessary. So a real preaching means actually living. Understand? Because people actually see and pay more importance to that than what the person speaks. But when we say, repeat, whatever we have heard about Krishna Katha, when we repeat, then that is the message that is going through. So living and preaching is the best, but if we cannot live it, but at least we speak about it, that also is good. But just hearing, that's also good. So it's three class. Hearing and speaking, hearing, speaking and living. That's the best.
Sorry, I was hearing Shukadeva Prabhu's lecture, and he was in that mentioning that he finished his education and he was in a full Zoom. Then he came to Krishna consciousness and he approached his guru. I want to study Bhagavatam and I want to become perfect and everything. And his guru said that you cannot become perfect to understand Krishna. You cannot be fully realized. It's a vast. You don't think your material education and this, you can't compare. So then he realized that then when he started reading that, he said, yes, it's so vast, I can't be complete how I did my education. Yeah. So it's ongoing process, it will be
Yes, like Brahmaji says in one of the prayers, Chānāte eva, that people think they know Krishna, let them say so. I don't even know what article.
Yes.
Alright, thank you so much everyone for your inputs. We'll conclude here. Dhṛtarāṣṭra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada and to assembled devotees.